Out of what it sees is the vast surface of the US.
Press freedom.
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 This urgent call for press freedom and free access to information is as relevant as ever. Let's reflect on its message and renew our efforts to protect media freedom so that information remains a life-saving public good for all.
Press freedom, just as said by the UN Secretary Gutierrez, is one of the most important ideas to journalism and to the world. But how to measure press freedom, and what's the current situation in the world? In 2002, the Reporters Without Borders (RSF) introduced the Press Freedom Index. RSF distributes the questionnaire, including 87 questions, to media experts in 180 countries. The questionnaire uses qualitative and quantitative methods to examine abuses and violence against the journalist before concluding a score on each country. Every year, RSF will use the data to form a press freedom map that visualizes the situation of the index in the world. Let's move on to the methodology first. RSF measures 7 indicators that each were given a 0 to 100 before calculating the weighted average. Higher the score resulting from the calculation means worse the country's press freedom. When making the press freedom map, every country would be colored in white, yellow, orange, red, or black. In 2021, over 60% of the countries are either problematic or difficult, while only 7% are good in press freedom. The press freedom map is in large part red, orange, and black, meaning press freedom faces enormous hardships in most countries. Let's look into a particular case, Myanmar, where the military coup took place last year with the press under heavy fire. Myanmar's press freedom fell to a new low in 2021, with 3 journalists killed, 150 journalists arrested, and 12 media outlets revoked by the military junta, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. From 2013 to 2020, 23 journalists were jailed and 2 were killed in Myanmar. But since 2021, the number has escalated as the military abuses and violent actions towards journalists increased, which pulled the ranking down to 140. Apart from Myanmar, journalists are facing physical threats all around the world. China, Egypt, Vietnam, and Belarus all detained many journalists, while China has more than 50 journalists behind bars, which is 92% higher than Myanmar's counterpart. In 2021, there were a total of 488 journalists detained by the authorities, among which 60 were female, 20% higher compared to 2020. But this does not cover all the issues. What if a country does not physically persecute journalists? What if it has no arrest or killing record? Does it mean it enjoys better media freedom? That's why RSF has a different calculation method that only looks into the first 6 elements. If the abuses scores too little, as the authorities strictly control the press. Let's focus on a highly developed city, Singapore. According to its founding father, Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's press is subordinated to the government, granting the authority more power to control the press. The country's Press Freedom Index recorded a falling trend ever since 2013, with its ranking down from 149 to 160, as widespread censorship and the censorship from the Media Development Authority. In 2014, Singapore ordered online service providers to register under the government, while some decent bloggers were threatened. Later on in 2019, the anti-fake news law required corrections to media contents that are regarded as incorrect by the government, which brought further restrictions. In 2020, the government hit hard on the media that covered the government's handling of the COVID-19 before a law case of Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong sued the chief editor of the online Citizen, Terry Xu, and his reporter. The court ordered Xu to pay 210,000 Singapore dollars for defamation, as his reporter covered Lee's relationship with his sister. That's all for the video. Thank you for watching.